Hey guys, Bob Smitty here. First of all, I just want to apologize. I know I haven't been putting much stuff up. Like I said, I'm not very good with YouTube consistency. A lot of things have happened. As you know, I did a lot of praise videos over the summer. That was the best part of my summer, by the way. The praise videos that I was doing. Had a lot of fun making those. But then life comes in and it kicks your butt, you know? So, yeah. Oh yeah, I got back into World of Warships, as you can see from that one video I posted about the streaming. I streamed the first week and a half. I was like, yeah, you know, there's a few people watching, which is cool and everything, but I might get back into it. I've kind of slacked off on that end too. I'm kind of a slacker, I must admit. I went to Dragoncon. I meant to make a video about it, you know, announcing that I was going and what I was going to be wearing. I dressed up as Clint Eastwood from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Yeah, it's kind of a crappy costume. I bought the El Cheapo version. But the best part of the costume was the Long Colt 45. This is a replica of the gun that Clint Eastwood used in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And I think he used it in Fistful of Dollars and for a few dollars more as well. But yeah, they had to piece bond it because it looks real, you know, or any weapon, look-alike weapon you take to Dragoncon, they have to put a yellow zip tie strap around the trigger if it's a gun, or at the top of if it's like a sword or something, put a zip tie there. That way security is not like, hey, he has a weapon, and then they come and arrest you. But yeah, so, best part of the costume right there. And you know, I got like a single gun holster, and yeah, it was, you have to spend kind of a lot of money if you want a good costume. You know, because I'm not very good at making costumes, so I just kind of like ordered it online. Yeah. But I did a lot of stuff at DragonCon 2016. It ran Friday through Sunday. Let's see. First thing we did on Friday, me and my friends, we went to the Electromagnetic Railgun, Fact and Fiction, and that was about a retired Navy guy talking about the applications of the railgun in the U.S. Navy. That was pretty interesting, science fiction-wise. We were going to go to the Firefly panel that had the Alan Tudyk, who was, you know, the pilot of the ship Serenity in the TV show Firefly that was canceled. Then they had James Baldwin, I think, is it Baldwin? Adam Baldwin, right? Yeah, Adam Baldwin. He's the mercenary known as Jane in the show. We got there 40 minutes early, and there was already like a line of hundreds of people, and we did not get into that one, sadly. But I did get into the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers panel, which has the original, two of the original Power Rangers, and the guy who does the voice of Lord Zed. Axelrod is his name. But what was it? I gotta look up the names on the app here. It was Robert Axelrod, the voice of Lord Zed, Austin St. John, the Red Ranger, and David Yost, who is the Blue Ranger, the original Red and Blue Rangers from the first couple of seasons of the show. And after that, we kind of got tired early because my friends and I, we didn't get much sleep the night before. Kind of excited and, you know, working in the evenings. So, yeah, Friday was kind of a drag. I mean, we had some fun, you know, but let's see, Saturday we had, I went to the Shroud of the Avatar Q&A, which is a game done by Lord British. What's the guy's name? His full name. His actual name is Richard Garriott. There he is. As his middle name is Lord British. There's the dating game, Gamers Edition. Game of Thrones Concept of Honor. Oh yeah, that's the one with, hang on. Oh no, that's something else. It was a little more of a talking thing. Didn't stay very long for that, sadly. 5:30 Saturday, I saw the cast of Gotham, which was David Mazouz, or they pronounce his name David for some reason. He plays the young Bruce Wayne in the show, the guy who plays Butch Gilzine, the guy who plays Penguin, the guy who plays Alfred, and the guy who plays Lucius Fox. I'm not going to say all their names, it would take a while. But yeah, it was cool seeing all those guys there. They were funny. And actually, one fan asked if David Mazouz would say, "I'm Batman," in his most dark, groveliest voice. And David is like 15 right now, and he's still kind of at the tail end of puberty, so his voice hasn't completely formed, sadly. But he tried his best. He did pretty good. Then Sunday, oh yeah, Saturday morning. Saturday morning's when the parade happened. I don't know if you guys heard, but there was a woman who was almost sexually assaulted on the sidewalk during the parade. It was actually like a block and a half down from where we were in Atlanta. And another person in the crowd snapped some pictures of the guy as he was trying to disappear into the crowd, and they caught him. So that's the second time that's happened. It happened one time last year. I'm not sure about the events back then in last year's, but Sunday we saw How to Fight Like a Dwarf / Elf, and that was this guy who's like really good at like weapons and stuff, and he was showing everyone. He even took people up on stage to demonstrate how to do moves with axes and swords and shields. Middle-earth movie guests, that was Ryan Gage, the guy who plays Alfred Lickspittle, I think. Yeah, Lickspittle, yeah, from The Hobbit. He was a really grimy guy who would suck up to the boss of Lake Town. Craig Parker, he played as Haldir in Lord of the Rings, the first two Lord of the Rings. He was kind of the captain of the archers at the battle at the end of the Two Towers at Helm's Deep. Went to the Real Monsters panel. Yeah, cryptozoology and horror. So my friends and I went to that. It's depictions of real-life monsters in horror books, films, and other media. So there's a lot of cool stuff in there about these people that actually go after like Bigfoot, search for clues, the Loch Ness Monster, stuff like that. I mean, I know some people laugh at that, but it was kind of interesting, even if it might be fake. Game of Thrones, The Business of Ruling, which has Jack Gleeson, who's the kid who plays as Joffrey from Game of Thrones, and Alexander Siddig, who is he played as Dr. Bashir in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, but he had a few episodes as Doran Martell in Game of Thrones. I mean, I don't mean to sound like mean or anything, but Alexander Siddig, I don't know if he wanted to be there. You know, like some actors come to these panels and these conventions, and sometimes they like being asked questions, they like talking to the crowd, hanging out or whatever, and then some actors are just like, you kind of get the feeling they don't want to be there. I mean, I'm not knocking the guy or anything, but it just seems like he was a little ticked off. He actually left halfway through the panel because he had to catch a plane flight. I mean, I can kind of understand where these actors are coming from. The actors that are ticked off, you know, they want to do other things. You know, they hoped for better roles in TV and film. Yeah, I kind of get that. But, you know, at least be grateful that, you know, you have so many fans. And then finally, last but not least, on Monday, September 5th at 10 a.m., William Shatner live and in person. William Shatner is hilarious. He had the whole crowd laughing. He talked about different stuff. He wrote a book called Leonard, which was about his late friend Leonard Nimoy. He's actually been reading books, and the funny thing is, he says, "Why am I reading books at the end of my life? I'm going to die in a few years." Kind of sad, but kind of funny, the way he delivered it and everything. But yeah, I mean, Dragoncon was a great experience. It's just, you gotta wait hours to get into these panels. If you want to get near the front, you have to like get there 2 or 3 hours early, and even then you might not be at the front of the line. So like, it felt like most of our time was running to the next building for the panel and waiting in line for several hours. There's a lot of good costumes though. The Marriott in Atlanta, that's where all the people like hang out and take each other's pictures. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it if some of the people stay in there like all day long. And also, you got the Hyatt on the other side. You got the Hyatt, you got the Hilton, you got the Sheraton. Not a whole lot of stuff was in the Sheraton. Or the Westin. Westin was part of it this year. Then America's Mart Building 1 and 2, those were included. That's where all the shops are and everything. I stay out of there because there's so many people crowding those aisles shopping. But what Dragoncon really needs to improve on is the air conditioning. Because you've got thousands, like tens of thousands of people. We had 77,000 people this year in Atlanta for Dragoncon. And it was just so crowded. Well, it wasn't really that bad crowded. It was just so crowded to where there was just so much heat, like body heat. If they need to get like some industrial strength fans and just like blow them through the hotel, you know, probably strategically from different directions to where there's an air current and, you know, you can get like, people can be cool rather than be burning up. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a suggestion if anyone from Dragoncon is watching this video. But yeah, it's hot. And this year we got lucky because Friday is when Hurricane Hermine went up through South Georgia, and it was cloudy that day and it was cooler. It was like the highest it got was like 81 or 82. And that's cool for Dragoncon in Atlanta because beginning of September, Labor Day weekend, that's like kind of the end of summer, but it's still pretty hot. Ugh. But yeah, they got to do something about the air conditioning situation in these buildings, because, you know, I wasn't really wearing that much. The Clint Eastwood vest, it was like, I wore an undershirt, I had a shirt over it, and then I had that little cowboy like vest thing. And I just had a regular dark pair of blue jeans that I owned already. I just wore that, you know, long jeans. And it was reasonably cool, but I wasn't wearing that much. So I can only imagine some of the other people at Dragoncon, all those crazy costumes, how hot they get. That's why I say they need to fix the air conditioning situation, like find some kind of way to pump more cool air in there instead of just, you know, letting people swelter. I'm surprised no one collapsed of heat exhaustion there. And this was, like I said, this was a cool weekend. This is one of the coolest weekends we've had at Dragoncon. Imagine what it's going to be like next year if it's, you know, hot and there's no clouds, there's no storm to cast, you know, clouds over us to keep us cool. So that's enough ranting for Dragoncon. But anyway, I'm going to try to do more videos and stuff, hopefully. I've gotten way more into World of Warships now with my friends at No Bull Gaming, so I'm going to be working on that. And, yes, plans. You can now purchase 4-day memberships for the convention next year for $80 through September 19th. So I might go ahead and buy another ticket for myself for next year, 2017 Dragoncon. $80. Now you say that's a lot, but as every few months go by and it gets closer to next year's convention, it goes higher and higher. I mean, I think it was like $130, $140 if you bought your ticket like right before going to Dragoncon. So this way I can save money. 50, 60 bucks. But yeah, it'll be September 1st through September 4th, 2017. It's a fun time. Just remember, if you go to Dragoncon in Atlanta and you want to get into some of these panels, see these famous people for an hour, you got to get there early. Just so you know. I'm sure that's the way it is at every convention. You know, I might go, I'm thinking about going to other conventions. I don't know, you know, just showing up. Like, I really like the convention scene. There's Con Nuga, that's up in Chattanooga, Tennessee, not too far from where I live. There's a lot in the Midwest that the Nostalgia Critic goes to. But I don't know, I would like to go to some other conventions, you know, just to check them out. Might dress up, I don't know. I mean, I'm not much into the anime conventions, but I don't know. But yeah, so I'm going to try to do some more YouTube videos. I got a lot of rants I want to do. You know, YouTube is a good place to complain about stuff. I might rant about some stuff and do some comedy videos like that. Maybe some comedy sketches in the near future. Praise videos, I'll have to see. Depends on where this World of Warships thing goes. But yeah, I'm thinking about trying to get back into acting. I did some acting back in film school back in the day. And I was thinking about getting back into it, but no, I'll have to see. Like I said, life kicks your butt. I don't know what's going to happen, so I might try that. It's got a lot of stuff going on. Things haven't gone according to plan over the summer, so we'll just have to see. All right, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.